Hello everyone and welcome. This is English lesson for grade 2 high school. Our topic is identity and culture and this is part 1 of the lesson. My name is Livija Pribanić and I will be your teacher today. U ovoj lekciji analizirat ćemo pojam identiteta, poslušat ćete izvorni tekst i na kraju vaš zadatak će biti napisati kratak tekst. Za ovu lekciju potrebna vam je samo bilježnica i pribor za pisanje. So let's start with the real work. The question I would like us to think about to begin with is, who are you? This is a simple question, isn't it? But is it easy to answer it? Are you a boy? Are you a girl? Are you somebody's son or a daughter? How important is the family to you? How does it define you? Where do you come from? Where do you live? Is the country you come from important to you and how? Is your national identity important to you? Why or why not? The list of questions could go on, and sometimes it really isn't easy to answer it. In order to get a broader picture of who we really are, here is the next activity. My identity wheel. My identity wheel is in the shape of a pie. So you will draw a pie in your notebook. It can have as many slices or pieces as you want them to. Here is mine to help you. There are several pieces in my identity wheel: family, relationship, my professional identity, hobby, my religious identity, gender identity, and national identity. All these make me who I am. So in your notebooks, draw a pie. Choose any identities that you find important. Think carefully, make as many slices as you need, and define yourself as who you really are. And now it's time for a story. I will read the story The Bear That Wasn't by Frank Tashlin. Listen carefully because there will be a task after the story. Once upon a time, in fact, it was on a Tuesday, the bear saw that it was time to go into a cave and hibernate, and that was just what he did. Not long afterward, in fact, it was on a Wednesday, lots of workers arrived near the cave. While the bear slept, they built a great, huge factory. As winter turned to spring, the bear awoke and stepped out of his cave. His eyes popped. Where was the forest? Where was the grass? Where were the trees? Where were the flowers? What had happened? I must be dreaming, he said. Of course I'm dreaming. But it wasn't a dream. It was real. Just then, the foreman came out of the factory. Hey, you, get back to work, he said. The bear replied, I don't work here. I am a bear. The foreman laughed. That's a fine excuse for a man to keep from doing any work, saying he is a bear. The bear said, but I am a bear. The foreman stopped laughing. He was very mad. Don't try to fool me, he said. You're not a bear. You are a silly man who needs a shave and wears a fur coat. I'm going to take you to the general manager. The general manager also insisted the bear was a silly man who needs a shave and wears a fur coat. The bear said, No, you are mistaken. I am a bear. The general manager was very mad too. The bear said, I'm sorry to hear you say that. You see, I am a bear. The second vice president was even madder. He was furious. The first vice president yelled in a rage. He said, You are not a bear. You are a silly man who needs a shave and wears a fur coat. I'm going to take you to the president." The bear pleaded. "This is a dreadful error, you know, because ever since I can remember, I've always been a bear." And that's exactly what the bear told the president. "Thank you for telling me," the president said. "You can't be a bear. Bears are only in a zoo or in a circus. They are never inside a factory. And that's where you are, inside a factory. So how can you be a bear?" The bear said. "But I am a bear," the president said. "Not only are you a silly man who needs a shave and wears a fur coat, but you're also very stubborn. So I'm going to prove it to you once and for all that you are not a bear." The bear said, "But I am a bear." The president packed his vice presidents and the bear into a car and drove to the zoo. The bears in the zoo said the bear was not a bear, because if he were a bear, he would be inside a cage. The bear said, "But I am a bear." So they all left the zoo and drove to the nearest circus. "Is he a bear?" the president asked the circus bears. The bears said no. If he were a bear, he would be wearing a little hat with a striped ribbon holding onto a balloon and riding a bicycle. The bear said, "But I am a bear." When the president and his vice presidents returned to the factory, they put the bear to work on a big machine with a lot of other men. The bear worked on the machine for many, many months. After a long, long time, the factory closed, and all the workers went away. The bear was the last one left. As he left the shut-down factory, he saw geese flying south and the leaves falling from the trees. Winter was coming, he thought. It was time to hibernate. He found a cave and was about to enter when he stopped. "I can't go into a cave. I'm not a bear. I'm a silly man who needs a shave and wears a fur coat." As the days grew colder and the snow fell, the bear sat shivering with cold. "I wish I were a bear," he thought. Then suddenly he got up and walked through the deep snow toward the cave. Inside it was cozy and snug. The icy wind and cold, cold snow couldn't reach him here. He felt warm all over. He sank down on a bed of pine boughs, and soon he was happily asleep and dreaming sweet dreams, just like all bears do when they hibernate. So even though the foreman and the general manager and the third vice president and the second vice president and the first vice president and the president and the zoo bears and the circus bears had said he was a silly man who needed a shave and wore a fur coat, I don't think he really believed it. Do you? No, indeed. He knew he wasn't a silly man, and he wasn't a silly bear either. This is the end of the story. Did you like it? Kind of unusual, isn't it? What I would like you to think about now is, what is the moral of the story? How do you feel about the story? How does it make you feel? Are you sad? Happy? Does it make you think? I would like you to write a paragraph explaining whether the bear is a bear in the story. Just one paragraph. It doesn't have to be too long. Just explain what happened to the bear. How did he react? What did others say? What did I persuade him in? How did he feel? Good luck with that. And I hope to see you in our next lesson. Bye.